What I Do, inspired by Taylor Mali. Wait, do you still teach at the continuation school? No? Oh, so you're like out of the classroom now? Oh, teacher on assignment, huh? Health and wellness specialist? That's a thing? So, what do you even do? Go around give massages? Yeah, that's what they ask me. Like I traded in my lesson plans for a yoga mat and a scented candle. You want to know what I do? I make people rethink what they think they know about SEL. I make district leaders stop scrolling through their emails long enough to hear that social and emotional learning is not a trend, not a box to check, not a political agenda. It's the skill that makes everything else work. I make skeptical administrators blink when I tell them that kids with strong SEL skills have better grades, better attendance, and are 42% less likely to punch someone in the face. That's not a made-up stat. Look it up. And that's when they hit me with, oh, sure, that works for those kids, the ones at the continuation school. But kids at a real school don't need SEL. Oh, right. Because only those kids deal with anxiety. Only those kids get overwhelmed. Only those kids struggle with conflict, pressure, and burnout. Only those kids cry in their room at night because they feel like they don't belong anywhere. Only those kids sit alone at lunch and wonder what's wrong with them. Only those kids have no idea how to start a conversation, how to read social cues, how to handle rejection without shutting down completely. Only those kids feel like everyone else got a cheat code on making friends except them. Yeah, sure. Let's pretend that kid in AP Calculus never freaks out about grades, never cracks under expectations, never sits in silence battling depression because no one ever taught them how to ask for help. Let's pretend that straight A students never feel like failures, that kids who look like they have it all together never walk down the halls drowning in loneliness. Let's pretend that none of them need to learn how to manage stress, how to communicate, how to build healthy relationships, or to pick themselves back up after failing. Oh, and let's not forget the classic. SEL? That's not my job. I teach math. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a social worker. I don't have time for this. Oh, I hear you. You teach math. But tell me, how well does a kid solve for X when they haven't eaten since yesterday? How well does a kid write an essay when their home life is falling apart? How much critical thinking happens when a student is stuck in fight, flight, or freeze? I make teachers understand that SEL isn't about coddling kids, it's about equipping them. Because let's be honest, when a student melts down over a math test, it's not the fractions that are the problem, it's the fear, the pressure, the belief that failing equals failing as a person. And here's the thing. We don't even know what jobs will be available when today's kindergartners graduate. The world is changing too fast. But what we do know is that whatever those jobs are, they will require self-awareness, adaptability, problem-solving, and collaboration. They will require conflict resolution, emotional regulation, resilience, and leadership. They will require social and emotional skills. And it's not just about the kids. I don't know about you, but I want my coworkers to have self-awareness so they don't bring their bad mood into every meeting. I want my boss to have emotional regulation so they don't snap at everyone under stress. I want my neighbors to have enough empathy to not blast their music until 3 a.m. I want my doctor to have strong communication skills so they don't rush through explaining test results. And I definitely want every single person driving on the road with me to have impulse control, patience, and responsible decision making. Because guess what? SEL isn't about making better students. It's about making better humans. I make schools see that a kid who feels safe, seen, and supported is a kid who shows up, engages, and learns. I make sure district leaders see the research, see the numbers, see the reality that SEL isn't just a good idea, it's the missing piece in their schools. And no, it's not a fad. It's not the latest buzzword. It's not something trendy we just discovered. It has always been a part of good teaching. Every great teacher you've ever had, they didn't just teach you a subject, they taught you. They built relationships. They helped you believe in yourself. They made you feel like you belonged. They knew, long before we had a name for it, that kids don't learn from people they don't like. They don't learn from people they don't trust. That emotions drive learning. That connection fuels engagement. That self-awareness, resilience, and relationships matter just as much as reading, writing, and arithmetic. This isn't extra. It's not a trend. It's education done right. I make workshops where light bulbs go off. I make people realize that SEL isn't one more thing on the plate. It is the actual plate and the thing that makes all other things possible. I make change. I make impact. I make SEL impossible to ignore. Oh, and what do you do?